Okay, what's this one all about? Tom Pake?
That is accurate, yes.
So these mechanical monstrosities, they don't just kill people, they feed off them?
Not just people, all organic matter.
Every living thing, dissolved into nutrients. Millennia of evolution, liquefied.
Basically.
The miracle of life reduced to bloody biofuel.
In a word, yes.
Who did this? Pharaoh? That arsehole. Is he here?
No, Doctor.
Please, tell him Tom Pake wants a word. Now, get off! Get off! Doc, please! You get Ted Pharaoh in here!
Well, not everyone's going to take the news well, are they, I suppose? Should be expected somewhat. Travis Tate. Data security consultant. Okay.
Want to discuss? Whew. So Mama, she was right.
Pardon?
My mother, she took her Bible real serious. Not just Texas Bible serious, Pentecostal serious. Favorite chapter? Revelations.
Oh, really?
Now, I didn't always understand her on account of all that speaking in tongues and such, but when she did use her words, there was always end times this and lake of fire that on account of sinful lifestyles. Speaking of which, mind if I smoke?
A tobacco cigarette.
Sorry, darling. My taste run classic. Compliments to your team tracked me down. Been a price on my head 18 months now. Sterling Malky was me, don't mind admitting. Been plenty of snakesters chasing the bounty too. But I kept the zigging to their zag. How'd you finger me?
I believe Dr. Sobek listed you as an alpha candidate. Priority snatch and grab.
Always suspected she had a little thing for me. Hey, I don't suppose you got real coffee in this place? You know, blood coffee? Conflict cappuccinos?
Mr. Tate, I'm clearing you to proceed. Just go.
Am I the only one who thinks that was slightly disturbing? Blood coffees and conflict cappuccinos. Am I the only one that finds that slightly disturbing? Maybe. A PhD in in cellular biology. Okay, interesting. I just want to see what the specialities were. I completely forgot to check that, silly old me. Focus so much on that, I totally forgot all about that. PhD environmental reclamation. Okay. They've each got unique skill sets. That's that one. What was this one? Captain Information Warfare Specialist. Makes sense. Let's go in this room, see what this one's all about. There was, well, I thought there was one. Oh, there was one over there. Any more? Turns this one, if I can see. Aerospace Engineering PhD. Okay.
Look, let's cut the mystery. You're building a colony ship. It's obvious. And it's not gonna fly. I mean, literally. Remember the Odyssey? That multinational heap of space junk that's been in graveyard orbit since '57? That went nowhere real slow, and you have to get somewhere real fast. Do you have any idea the immensity of the challenge to prep a new colony ship in time?
To be clear, I'm not a worker on the project.
Do you even understand how few people it could save? The whole generation ship concept is not gonna happen. It's the first thing you'd abandon in favor of embryonics. For that kind of storage, we're talking a lot of bulk, a lot of power, a lot of resources. So even if you do it, even if you build it and point it at Sirius X, there's no room for people on that thing, all right?
If you could try to remain calm.
But you people are crazy if you think you're getting off this rock. No one's getting off.
Medical.
Well, for someone who's got that speciality, engineering speciality, I suppose they're just speaking from, like, their understanding of knowledge, so, I mean... Huh. I mean, it's going over the top, but I mean... If it's a I mean, the colonization thing would only be a matter of cryogenic life for cloning or you know, cell or wildlife embryonics, you know, with I know a crew of 10 who can take the seed of Earth, if you like, and start a new one, Sirius X or whatever it is. I don't know, Sirius 10. But as far, but I get what he's saying about there is not enough people that would be able to fit on board if you fit everything else on. I do get what he's saying there. Assuming that is what he's trying to say. Formerly Faris Corp can interview. Okay, so what the hell? So what's his specialty? Is this just some sort of engineering or programmer?
Who previously worked for Faro Automated Systems.
On the chariot line self-replication routines. I came here thinking this was a rendition. When your people took me, I thought, about time. I've been trying to swallow the guilt every day since...
Would you like to take a moment?
No, I really hoped Zero Dawn was a way to undo it all. My work. And I'm sorry to say I was ever proud of it, but Ted could really sell a concept, and in the labs, in the light of creation, that first test run, when you saw they understood their own structures, could rebuild themselves from memory and light, there were no limits. God, there were no limits.
So, if I have understood correctly, it's like a software specialist for these machines, which would make sense because they've got a security consultant, so now they've got a software specialist. If I think I've read that right, or understood that right. Okay.
CD02 data intact. Initiating playback.
Okay.
Elizabeth Sobek.
You've heard the bad news, and it's all true. The Pharaoh Plague is devouring the biosphere. Life itself will cease to exist. But does that have to be the end? What if we could give life a future? What if we could build a kind of seed from which, on a dead planet, life could blossom anew?
Okay.
This is the aim, the hope, of Project Zero Dawn.
Right.
To create a super intelligent, fully automated terraforming system.
Wow.
And bring life back from lifelessness. What would such a system require? At its core, it would need a true AI, fully capable of making the trillions of decisions necessary to reconstitute the biosphere.
No kidding.
An immortal guardian, devoted to the reflourishing of life. We call it Gaia.
Okay.
Mother Nature as an AI. But that's just the core of the system. She will need to be surrounded and empowered by a comprehensive suite of subordinate functions. Think of them as extensions of Gaia's mind, each dedicated to a specific purpose.
Makes sense.
Now, these aren't AIs, but make no mistake. Each presents an engineering challenge more profound than anything the human species has ever before attempted.
Whoa.
Hardware that preserves and then gestates the billions of seeds and embryos from which life will be reborn.
Wow.
The construction of underground facilities to hold it all. And that's just the start. We don't have to build the entire system. The beauty of a fully automated terraforming system is that it can build itself. Now, over the days to come, you'll learn how all these functions, all these pieces that you'll be working on, fit together. How we'll race the clock to execute our harvest initiatives, write the software, build the tech and the facilities. How we'll lock it down and seal it up before the inevitable occurs. But even more important, you'll know how it doesn't end here. How Gaia will generate those deactivation codes General Harris talked about, and build the transmission arrays to broadcast them, shutting down the Pharaoh robots for good. How Gaia will not just build, but imagine any conceivable robot it needs to do its work across centuries. From detoxifying the Earth's ravaged atmosphere and poisoned seas, to the regreening of the Earth from cryopreserved seed stocks, to rewilding the Earth with animal life, and then when all that is done, how a new generation of human beings, spawned at cradle facilities around the globe, will partake of Apollo, the vast archive of human knowledge and cultural achievement from which they will learn of us, our world. And most important, how not to repeat our mistakes.
That's the hope.
It's not an impossible dream. It is within our grasp if we work tirelessly and stop at nothing to achieve it. We can't stop life from ending. But if you will help me, help Gaia, we can give it a future. Join me and help make that future real.
Okay. Wow.
The whole Earth destroyed, but then remade?
Yes. By a machine. A machine of creation.
Elizabeth did this. For life, for us. But why Hades then? If it was part of Gaia, how did it end up in the wreckage of a pharaoh robot? And why does it want to kill me? And Apollo, the archive of knowledge, what happened to that?
I'm as confused as you are. Maybe the answers lie ahead.
Okay. So, a couple of things I took from that. Hades, I saw was there. So, Hades was on these programs. I'm assuming Hades might be some sort of... If Hades is as destructive as we've noticed, I know it's obvious, but I'm just putting this in context right with what we're seeing. I'm wondering, Hades would be, say, called a fail-safe protocol, or fail-safe AI system. So, I'm only guessing, but from what we've seen, the corruption, just devastational impact, unless of course Hades has been corrupted, that's another point, but just what we've seen, and what we know about Hades, what if Hades is... so let's say Gaia tries to fix it, replants seeds, does all this. Let's say she screws up, for example. So I'm assuming Hades is that failsafe of, oh hang on, I'll wipe the slate clean. But what if that's the case? So what the hell happened? Also, that tower, I've seen that spire. And that's something that we saw earlier on, much earlier on in the game. I wonder what the hell that was. I think we might have been taking you up there, I'm not 100% sure. But so that looks like an end game point. A spire, I've seen that. I'm guessing that maybe going to possibly throw down against the eclipse or whatever. I'm not really sure, but that looks very important. I know where that is. I remember. I'm guessing Hephaestus. I'm assuming that is a AI program. All the cauldrons. One of them spoke about Hephaestus. I hope I said that right. It's all. I like how they're using the Greek names and all. That's really cool. But I'm not 100% sure Gaia is Greek. It could be. I think it is by explain, but I could be wrong. Feel free to correct me in the comments. But Hephaestus, I think, and I could be very wrong, I think Hephaestus is the AI that's in charge of the cauldrons. Because we saw, I'm assuming that was related to Hephaestus and showed the machines, a couple of machines. And if that's in charge of spawning them, creating and spawning them, that would be the program of those facilities. Interesting. And if that's a program that's excuse me, it would make sense actually that if that was Hephaestus, that that's machines practically going to cauldrons controlled by the AI, very clever AI, that can spawn these machines, we'd override that part of Hephaestus. I'm gonna call it Hephaestus. My mind's just gonna go whatever and off the cliff. But first, so that would point that we override that, so then that would mean Hephaestus either becomes inoperable or it only spawns machines that serve this, that are overrideable. No? I could be wrong, but I'm not. I probably looped myself some thought there, but I know I'm going off on a tangent about that. I'm probably going way too far, but it makes me think. So there was the cradles. I'm not sure that's to do with Apollo. Maybe I understood that wrong. But the cradles for life when they have some sort of cloning program. So would that mean that the one in Mother's Heart, in All Mother's Heart, if that's might be Apollo, I'm not sure, but if that's the cradle, because that would be where Aloy is from. Huh. I like the concept she's gone with, sorry, I'm just moving this up controls to disconnect while I'm talking. That's the only reason I'm moving the camera around, just in case anyone's wondering. With Sobek, I like the idea she's going with. It's unbelievably complicated, even with the special she brought in, but I like her idea. It's groundbreaking, insanely complicated, but I do like it. And I like how she's gone with the whole Greek, those very, well, Greek names and mythology and all their gods and everything like that. I really like what she's grown at real point a bit of significance there. I mean, I'm not saying that aren't those things aren't significant, but I like the names that are associated with them. Make your selection. You are now in possession of information regarding the true nature and purpose of Project Zero Dawn, classified far above top secret. As such, we regret that you cannot be allowed to leave this facility. Unfortunate, but I understand why. There are three options available to you at this point. Please consider each carefully. Trained counselors are standing by to assist you in making a choice. Participation. You'll be assigned to a sub-project team based on your area of expertise. You should be aware that the way forward will be difficult and the project's outcome is uncertain. You'll be expected to work a minimum of 80 hours per week. Wow. I suppose that's sort of expected on a tight schedule, but even so. And your communications with family members will be strictly limited and monitored in real time. I understand why. Upon successful completion of the project, you and your immediate family, or two persons of your choosing. I like how they give that option where if you're not super close to your family or they're estranged or I don't know, whatever, and there's say two other people you've grown up with that are like family, I like that. And I should say that's not always assuming parents are, but even so, with the family I mean. Will be transferred to Elysium. I've seen that movie. That's the whole paradise, or so-called paradise, depending on what movie and games and how what you see the interpretation of. There's movies which have said one thing, they've been anyway, that's not a subject. Elysium, sealed habitat to the Elysium, sealed habitat to live out the remainder of natural lives. So yeah, goes what I was pointing out. Indefinite detention. That would be quite difficult to do, I would imagine. For the length of it, I mean. Should you choose to decline participation in Project Zero Dawn, you will be confined indefinitely. You'll be given 48 hours to reconsider, after which your decision to refuse participation will be considered irrevocable. Every reasonable effort will be made to make your term of confinement as comfortable as possible. But you'll not be permitted to contact with the outside world, and death within 18 months due to the Varroa plague is inevitable. So essentially it's either a year and a half at best, or you work on the project, or euthanasia. Oh, okay. When the Zero Dawn facility is abandoned, detainees who wish to opt out for medical euthanasia will be released. I don't think it will matter, to be perfectly honest. Although if it's euthanasia compared with being sucked in, transferred into biofuel for, say, a corruptor, probably would opt not for the latter, but euthanasia. Okay, medical euthanasia. Information you just received understandably calls into question the purpose of continuing to live. If you would prefer to end your life at this point, pain-free medical euthanasia is available. A 48-hour waiting period is required, during which time you may instead opt for participation or confinement. Please notify a counselor when you are ready to make your choice, or if you have further questions. None of those options are amazing above participation, but I suppose at least they give you the option for what it's worth. Oh. What is this about? Counselor guidelines 2. For debriefing after presentation 2. It is vitally important that candidates choose to participate in Project Zero Dawn voluntarily and knowingly, without additional coercion and without value judgment on the part of the counsellor. Confirm for candidates that they are selected due to their skills and accomplishments. Emphasize that their dedicated participation in Zero Dawn will increase the project's chances of success. Frame participation in Zero Dawn as an opportunity to respond actively in face of an overwhelming threat. Candidates may question the fairness of their selection. Validate such objections as normal, even admirable responses. Emphasize the values of candidates' expertise to the future, not just of humanity, but terrestrial life as a whole. Probably a good way to go about it. Try and boost the morale using their own, skill set as a promotional tool. Clever, actually. Although they might see right through it. Likewise, candidates may balk at the morale to extending the lifespans and of those loved ones beyond 0 day. Validate their hesitation. Acknowledge that while their reward of Elysium is not fair, it will be earned. If possible, direct their ethical misgivings towards a greater commitment to the project. When candidates challenge the plausibility of Project Zero Dawn, permit them to revisit Dr. Sobek's presentation as many times as they wish. Allow access to supplemental articles G01 or G01 through P20. Also, it must be G01 through P20. Allow them to spend the interview to fully process documentation. They didn't need that, I imagine. Especially if they're not, like if they're a historian or someone who's not quite, the technical type, that would make a lot of sense. Even if you were the technical type. Excuse me. A significant minority of candidates will elect for medical euthanasia. It's important to receive this decision kindly and without judgment. That's very true. Advisement of the 48-hour waiting period during which counsellors will be able to discuss their decision. Emphasize that euthanasia will not occur without repeated consent when the procedure is scheduled to take place. No one will be euthanized against his or her will. Good, I'm pleased about that. That's one thing I'm glad they're not just like, oh, they're choosing it, so we're just gonna, just do it. Like I said, you have to volunteer and you have to be, you have to be certain of this. That's good. I'm glad they're making sure of that. That's really good. I mean, obviously, but still, it's important. Candidates who elect indefinite detention will be informed that they have 48 hours to reverse the decision, after which the decision will be final. Okay, that makes sense. Actually, I'm kind of wondering, maybe I'm wrong, but at the very beginning when that ruin with 6-year-old Aloy, was that one of the detention facilities? Or is that just one of the many programming centers or whatever, what have you? Or I'm not sure. Or one of the labs. I'm not really sure. Maybe someone can let me know. Okay, let's hop over here for a second. Else we oh, okay. Got a few more.
Alert. Medical wing inaccessible.
Okay. Oh, I think this might be what I think it is. I think that might be the euthanasia room, so they can just, once they're done with, they can, well, dispose, for lack of a better term. I was gonna put them somewhere. Stranded shackles. Huh? What the hell? What? Number 2. I'm wondering if this is going to be for... Oh, excuse me. I wonder if this is... Because I know they had a DLC and I know they hadn't actually put out yet, but when they're probably in the process of making it towards the end of the game. I wonder if this is like a little thing for like to sell and trade at during the DLC, or whether this is post game to sell at a merchant, or whether this is for some cutscene. I'm not really sure. Seen any use for it yet, so although hopefully that becomes a bit more obvious in time. How have I just got the hiccups? What? Go away, hiccups, if you're there, please. Okay, aerospace engineering interview 2, right.
Is he to make sure I behave this time?
Security, for your protection. Would you like to discuss how you're feeling?
Sure. I'll tell you. Surprised. No, flabbergasted. Like my old man would say, flabbergasted. That vein pumping in his forehead. I thought you people were just completely underprepared for a spaceflight project. But now I can see it's worse. Much worse. Sobek is a total fantasist, a dangerous fantasist. He's kind of blue skying. It's... Jesus. I'm sorry we wasted each other's time. I'm ready to leave now.
I'm afraid that's not possible.
Everything you're talking about here isn't possible.
I recommend you read the documents regarding your options.
I've seen enough. I'm getting out of here. What are you... You don't... Get your hands off me!
Well, that's someone who's very much against the program. What if he got detention to euthanasia? I wonder if they'll let us know. I'm just curious as to what happened to him. So this was the environmental reclamation, right?
If you're still nauseous.
No, the inhibitors have kicked in. I can't feel the back of my tongue. I wish I could tell you I'd believe in this. But the damage is too great, too extensive, too complete. With all respect to Dr. Sobek's work at Miriam, no. No, life doesn't always find a way to keep going. Sometimes it never comes back.
It's got a point, actually.
Like Syzygy East. Like the Congo. Like Timor. Like us. That's our reward? A buried city full of terminal patients waiting out the clock?
You grow old together with your loved ones in safety.
I don't have loved ones. I suppose I could start a family?
I'm afraid not. All inhabitants of Elysium will be medically sterilized. A habitat capable of sustaining a starting base of 2,000 individuals for up to 100 years is a huge challenge, Dr. Alpert. If the population grows instead of diminishes, everyone will be dead inside 30 years.
That's
I
such
knew
a
it.
point.
I just couldn't bring myself to say the words.
I'm sorry.
Finish it. Medical euthanasia. I want no part of this. I just want it over.
I see. Protocols require a 48-hour waiting period, after which...
So she opted out. I suppose I get where she's going from, Alpert. Alpert, you know, that sometimes not all things are supposed to be extended in that regard. I do. But at the same time, I can argue, why not try and at least an option, even though it's extreme. At least, I mean, if you got nothing to lose and only everything to gain, is there not a plus, even if it's extreme? I mean, okay, I mean, obviously, unless you're talking about a total massacre, that's, you know, or I've completely forgotten the word for it, but genocide. That's what I was looking for. I mean, obviously, those things, no, I wouldn't condone those. No, absolutely not. But what I'm saying is that for the project, in terms of the technological side of it, you know, I mean, the human race is facing essentially genocide by machines. You know, it's not like they're committing that. You know, I mean, okay, yes, there are participants which euthanasia. I mean, yeah, I mean, there's two ways you can look at it. I mean,
Of course I'll do it.
oh,
To be given the opportunity to rebuild what the damage that I don't feel worthy of it, but I will do it, absolutely.
I want to stress that this was never about your culpability.
It is to me. Dr. Sobek, Margot, they were smart to get out of Pharaoh when they did, but not one of us took it as a warning sign. It just told ourselves that we're cut out for the BTRI cabals. That's the better than rapid innovation. A better at competing, better than the next guy, a better killing machine. It's just amazing how a century and a half of science fiction did nothing to swerve our species from the path of doom. I mean, I'm done with that life. I mean, I will work hard, twice as hard, to earn this, for my family to have a place in Elysium. I never thought that there could be atonement.
to be fair, for the record, and I know this may sound a little like, you know, like, why would you do that? But I always loved technology, and if it came down to, if I had a speciality, you know, this was that time period, and I had a speciality, say history, or you get what I'm saying, that type of thing, and they asked me for the program, I would still do it. You know, I'm not one for a huge amount of hard work, even though I personally admit that. But at the same time, if it's, you know, if there are no other options on the table and humanity's gonna die, and this is the all or nothing that could literally save us, but we're gonna die no matter what, if you think about it like that, I would join this program. Seriously, I would. Hell, when we think about it this way, that life's gonna end in a year and a half, or less, and this is an all or nothing project, and either that or the Pharaoh plague consumes the world. I mean, as far as I'm concerned personally, what the hell do you have to lose? But that's just me anyway, but what's in here?
Intruder! Get her!
Goodbye.
Whatever you do, don't die now.
Not screwing around with those hardpoint arrows. No way. What's in these? Ah, so the alcoves like there were in the other rooms. Okay. Tom Page.
I hashed it out with them, what the point of Artemis was. I made it clear I wasn't on board for a global zoo. We haven't exactly proved ourselves to be great custodians in the past few thousand years. So the idea of a reconstituted biosphere, well, it's horrifying, isn't it? A complete horror show. We have no right to take a best guess at this stuff. But the alternative? Nothingness. For there to have been all this and then nothing. And with Charles Ronson running the show, I respect him. He's got a passion to him. He's hot-blooded. So I said I'll do it. I'll put my all into this, literally. When the project is done, I'll take the medical option, thank you. Counselor said I might change my mind. I told him that he didn't know me very well then. For life's sake. I'll do the dirty work. But I want no part of this pathetic attenuated future on offer. I'm an outdoors man. Never did like the feel of solid state lighting on my skin. And a wee bit of a claustrophobe anyway.
Must admit, I'm a little bit of a claustrophobe myself. I must confess that as well. But I like how you just go toast the cows. It's like, you really do not know me very well. I love that. I've said that there's some people who look at me like I'm thinking. I say, do you even know me? I love that. Said to build my life. But I appreciate the fact that he's actually seen thought the logic of it as well. Even though he doesn't like the idea, he's saying against the alternative, like, well, there's nothing, so why the hell not? But it's almost like put the he'll do it, but this has to be the agreement. And I'm sure they would sign the agreement, because like, oh, okay, you'll help us complete the project, and if that's the way I want to go, that's fine. I'm sure they'll respect that, and I hope they did. At least he's agreed to go on with the project, which is good. It's not like you just told him just to piss off. He could have, but he didn't. Anything over here? I'm not gonna jump down there. Back there, that's fine. Just wanna make sure the rooms. What's this? Christina Suhui. I'm sorry, I apologize, I'm not pronounced that correctly. Oh, god damn you. I select it.
Zero Dawn. It is art, in a way. An expression on the grandest scale. But there is so much unfairness. Why was I chosen? Was it decided by committee? By algorithm? My family will be saved because I happen to graduate in art history? Is this right?
Dr. Suve? Christina Suve?
Yes. I met a man, another historian. His fields are Bauhaus and the New Materialists. But he once attended one of my talks.
Huh.
Another unfair chance. Of all the many people in that auditorium, that we should both be here now. And yet, I feel more accepting of my fate. No, it is not fair, not at all. But for the sake of my family, for the sake of art. Art is alive. It must be able to speak from beyond history and echo in the future, not perish into oblivion. This opportunity, I must do this.
I know it says the unfair chance, but I think it's also quite possible that that person who in Bauhaus and New Materialists or whatever it was, I get the impression that like he was brought in because of his speciality in probably Bauhaus, and I think it was because of those two areas he was a specialist in, and she's got the specialist in the other areas. So it's more like two people that complete that category, if you like. I'm guessing that's what it is. Maybe people did it intentionally, I don't know, but that's the way I interpret it anyway. And it's just an ironic coincidence, I think. Travis Tate.
Now, those lame FBI black hats at Mockingbird back in the day, I enjoyed schooling them.
I'm sure you did.
But maybe I went in too hard on this poor counselor. She was cute, and just going down a checklist after all. Couldn't expect her to see how ridiculous Zero D's ambitions are. God's own budget thrown at a kid playing with a hologram sculptor? Palms up, honey. I'm just calling it like it is. Hey, look, Mom, I'm making nature. Now, if nature is so important, why not let nature take its course? Extinction? That's natural. Zero Dawn? No, ma'am, that ain't. Heck, it's so unnatural to be called an abomination back home, and you know it. That's why you're hiding it. Meanwhile, my little honey of a counselor, she's munching the inside of her cheek. Bad habit. She chewed one of her nails, too, just one. Not your day, was it, little sweet pea? Saw her quota slipping away. Said, I assume you intend to decline the assignment, Mr. Tate. You kidding me? 18 months hard labor in exchange for 30 years lounging around Elysium watching porn? Sign me up.
Oh, he's one of those types. He's like, oh, I'll work hard, but I'm just gonna do my thing when it's fucking Elysium. Oh, okay, fine. Each to their own. Listen to the program. Oh, dearie me. Oh, God. I mean, I get the whole thing about natural ending. I seriously doubt, though, that a Pharaoh plague is considered a natural ending, though. I'm just saying. Like, I get it, like, you know, because of, you know, the Earth became inhospitable because of, you know, fossil emissions, all this type of stuff, you know, global warming, everything else. If it was because of that, then it's, you know, humanity destroying our planet because they use up its resources. Fine, more of a man-made way of just destroying the planet. But when you talk about machines have gone rogue because of a program that's not natural and they're sucking up the very life of the Earth, I'm sorry, I don't deem that natural. I get what you're saying about the natural extinction, but the Pharaoh plague is not natural extinction. I'm sorry, it just isn't. I get where he's coming from, but it's not. That's not natural extinction.
Power's down.
Is there another route?
I've done this before. Just need my focus.
I'll check the other room just quickly, just to make sure. No, that was that one. Okay. Excuse me. What in the hell? Okay, that's locked.
Here we go. Another one of these. Need to find the right configuration.
Let me, do this first.
Hey, I'm done with Brett's incompetence, okay? Somehow, he managed to install an H-emitter node backwards. Everything's in reverse. I don't get paid to clean up Brett's messes. If you want it fixed, send him up to storage for a new emitter, not me. Parker out.
So this one's in reverse, it looks like. Okay, gotcha. Let's see what's back here. If anything. Oh, maybe that's the way down? Can we get up this by any chance? Nope. I'll try it. What's this all? Left, up, left, down, right. Left, up, oh. Sorry, whoops. Left. Just right.
Done. I should check the door nearby.
It's that one. Get off it, Aloy. Come on. No. Alright. Hell.
I'd have to ditch something.
That's fine. I've got everything that's gonna need anyway. One. There we go.
Found
Well,
one.
cool. A new emitter.
Looks intact.
Excellent.
Looks like that part I found
Oops.
upstairs might fit here. That should do the trick. Now let's get that door open.
Oh god, so... bear with me a sec, my mind has to thinking upside down reverse, great. Down, left, up. Down, left, up. Right down. Okay. What? I'm missing one. The hell? Down. Oh, hang on. Oh god, my brain's gone. So, hang on. Right down. Jesus. Because I'm trying to read upside down, it's just not helping. Not helping my mind. Not my eyes or my mind. Please let that be right.
Door should have power.
Oh, thank God.
Now to see what lies beyond it.
Okay. Alright, I'll tell you what, we'll end it here. I'll see you next time. We're going to enter the central projects and find out exactly the little secrets of this Project Zero Dawn. See you next time.